Hello everybody, welcome back to the GeekWave. This is the low budget show. It's the show so low it has no budget. Our ratings might be so bad that in fact we might have to cancel some things that aren't selling like they should. Maybe they're hurting the kids, maybe they're just too expensive to make and the prep time is too much work, so certain segments of the show are going to be discontinued. Because today, the day I'm recording this, it's Labor Day in Canada, and I'm like, I could do a whole, predictions, whatever, hoopla coming up for Disney Plus Day and for D23. But I'm like, who cares? We talk about that next week. A huge news episode will be next week. So I just wanted to, take my day off, relax, talk about something that means a lot to me. And that is McDonald's and fast food. Now, I am somebody who I wouldn't say like a pop culture enthusiast or historian, but I probably have my fingers in the cookie jar of pop culture more than other people you might know. And one of the topics that I genuinely think is literally connected to popular culture is fast food, because it kind of became like the staple of food for that kind of entertainment. They had literal places where you could go down slides and climb walls and stuff. They had mascots and these deals, and they had these promotions going on with other companies and other brands and other entertainment houses. So fast food is kind of inherently connected to pop culture. I will always stand by that. It exists in that pop culture bubble the same way rock and roll music kind of changed the way we make pop culture. McDonald's kind of changed the way how we view how fast food could be made. And I think it's just kind of fun to go back and look at this history of McDonald's, these things that they tried to fit in, to slot into other places that maybe didn't work the way they should. So I found this article on soyummy.com. It is from May 2019 from Jessica Booth, called 31 Discontinued McDonald's Menu Items You Probably Forgot About. And I think this is kind of a fun topic because it's McDonald's, and I know it's not everybody's favorite place to eat, but it is probably the most iconic restaurant, fast food place in the world. I'm pretty sure more countries have McDonald's than there are without countries of McDonald's. And with that comes regional things and whatever. There's some cool stuff involved in all that too. But I figured, let's take a minute and let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about McDonald's and their history and the weird foods they tried to promote to you. And again, I kind of want to point this out. I could probably do an entire other video talking about other associations with this company or of other fast food companies, we could talk about the biggest promotions to ever come out of these things, things like Star Wars and Batman coming to these fast food places. We could do one talking about mascots, and I think I'm going to do that eventually, because there is something iconic about having a mascot associated with your food. Wendy's has Wendy. The A&W Bear I don't think is iconic, but he is there. And I'm starting to notice maybe I'm just going to be mentioning things that I grew up with in Canada, because that's its own thing too. But Ronald McDonald, everybody knows him. Grimace has his following. The Hamburglar you are familiar with. The Bird Lady. And my favorite. This is the thing, I'll talk about him more in detail when we do another video, but this is my favorite obscure thing to bring up when people are like, what is something that only you know that nobody else in your inner circle or in your family or just anybody you know is familiar with? And the thing I always bring up is Mac Tonight, which is just the late night promotional McDonald's guy that's the moon and he sings the blues, and I love him. He reminds me so much of Pepsi Man, where it's what a concept that should exist today that really doesn't exist today. I love it. So Mac Tonight, there's your Mac Tonight reference for the day, everybody. If you're not familiar with Mac Tonight, it is something I want to make into a Joker film. I want to do a movie of Mac Tonight, but it's just the Joker. That would be the coolest thing in the world. But we're not here to talk about Mac Tonight. No, folks, we're here to talk about the discontinued McDonald's food items. Why? I don't know, man. It's just fun. It's fun. We're relaxing today. I will link the article. If you want to see the pictures, if you want to see everything else involved with this, I will link the article If you listen to this on the podcast feed, you can check it out there. But let's get into it, starting with the McLobster, which it doesn't sound good. I mean, lobster is one of those foods that I think is good, but you have to be, one, in a particular mood for lobster and accepting that it needs to be expensive because you don't want fast food lobster. It's why you don't see a lot of like fast food seafood places. It's more like your beef, your chicken, your fries, like those kind of things. There's like a few, like, you know, sushi's kind of like a different thing, I think, but you don't see a lot of just like, come here for your lobster sandwich. You don't see that. And it just doesn't feel like a McDonald's kind of thing. It's dumb. And, you know, I'm reading here, after some supply issues and the fact that it wasn't profitable, they discontinued it. Yeah. That makes sense. Apparently, it is sometimes still available in Atlantic Canada and New England regions. See, that's where I'm like, regional thing, where, you know, you can get more of that kind of fresh lobster stuff. That makes sense. That sounds disgusting. I would never eat a McDonald's lobster. This happened in the 90s before I was alive, folks. That's how young I am. Not eating that. And we're looking at this one called the McSalad Shaker. See, this is a concept that I think works, where it's like you get a cup, you put your salad in it, you shake it up and mix it up. That is an idea that I understand. I could see how somebody in marketing would be like, salad on the go. Yes. And then it just became like a kale shake today. That's what it is, right? And that's fine. I mean, do you want to eat salad on the go, I guess? Is that like a thing you'd want to like eat? Like, I when I think of salad, I don't think of like, oh man, I got to eat this in my car while I'm driving down the 405 or whatever. But I guess that is something cool. I don't know. Like, what a weird one. And then we have the McDLT, and this is an old one. The McDLT was first introduced in 1984. It had its own custom-made container that was designed to keep the cold and hot parts of the burger separate until ready to eat. That sounds exhausting. But I get it. You know, like you keep the meat and like the cheese in one spot, the patty is over there too, which is the meat, I guess, and then the bun and everything else on the one side. That's a lot of work. I don't know if it'd be worth it. And I mean, quality control is like a big issue when it comes to these things. Like some companies and some McDonald's branches, I should say, they know how to keep things going at a steady pace and give you like fresh food all the time. But I don't know if I'd want to be like, okay, now I have to separate this and I have to do the work. No way, buddy. I'm not doing that. Chicken Selects. In 2004, McDonald's decided to try a fancier version of the Chicken McNuggets of Chicken Selects, which were bigger and looked different. Yeah. The key thing to fast food, it's kind of just like how you market movies to kids. You keep it looking similar, but slightly changing it enough to where people aren't uncomfortable. A bigger McNugget is a solid idea, but I don't think people would be comfortable. It'd be like, do you remember like that like meme that's going around where it's like the third pounder failed because people thought it was smaller than the quarter pounder? You'd have a bunch of people looking at like a larger McNugget, like, am I paying more or less for the McNugget portion than what I'm getting when I get the 10-piece? And I think that would probably kill the business. You perfected the McNugget. Trying to like change it and play with it, I don't think that's going to help anybody. I think you just got to let it ride. Then we have the Eggs Benedict McMuffin. Yeah. Does anybody want that? It looks like according to Eater, there was no poached egg. Well, what's the point of that then? The McJordan. This was a Chicagoland only special. That is, I gotta look up what this is because this article doesn't really have any like pictures of it. I gotta see what this is. Is this just like the Travis Scott burger or the Mr. Beast shit? And this is, yeah, it's just the McJordan burger. Quarter pound pure beef, cheese, smoked bacon, barbecue sauce of onions, mustard, and pickles. If anybody has one of those standouts that has the burger as like the back of the basketball rim and they want to sell it, I would buy it. That is a piece of Americana that I would just lose my mind to own. Could you? Oh my goodness, $1.99 plus tax for a burger. Are you kidding me? That is. I love the old '90s, man, where things were just crazy. That's so cool. Just $2 for a burger. I'm paying like fucking $6 right now, man. That's crazy. Fruit and walnut salad. Do we need to say more? That sounds like shit. Nobody goes to McDonald's for fruit, so of course that's gonna fail. This is a funny one. Mighty Wings. Mighty Wings are just chicken wings. It's one of those things kind of like the lobster where it's like, I understand the necessity for chicken wings to kind of be like fast food related, but if you're having a chicken wing, that's more like a sit down meal. It's like you want to go to a wing place. You don't want to just get like, the shitty versions that they're going to be selling at a McDonald's. That is gross. And it looks like they went on clearance. Yuck. Now, this is a fascinating one to me. Number 9 here is Fish McBites. This is just chicken nuggets as fish, pretty much. It's kind of like popcorn chicken from KFC is like the size portion I'm seeing from that. Let's see. This was flaky white fish dipped in batter and fried, then served with tartar sauce for dipping. It didn't last long before they were discontinued in 2013. Again, I know McDonald's still has fish on the menu, like some sort of fillet, and you can buy it like your fillet, and I don't know. Like I know one person in my life who orders that, not regularly, but I've seen them order it a couple of times. I'm like, why would you come here for the fish? I mean, it's fast food, and I'm like, you're here for the greasy, slovenly made burger and chicken and these terrible consumer shit. That's what we're here for. So little balls of fish, I understand how that wouldn't sell well. It's a cool idea, though. Like, it's one of those ones where it's like, yeah, you got the fish. People like McNuggets, a fish McNugget. Makes sense to me. I would buy them. And maybe it's McBites is the name that killed it. Who's to say? That's kind of fun. Chicken fajitas. That sounds like a 90s thing because there's no way they would try that today. We have too many other fajita and burrito places. Again, I guess it's kind of like their wraps, right? It would be kind of in an essence like their wrap, but that is such a specific thing that I don't know anybody would want. Oh, here we go. This is awesome. The Big and Tasty. Introduced in 1977. That is completely wrong. Introduced in 1997. The Big and Tasty was supposed to be McDonald's way of competing with Burger King's Whopper Burger. It was a seasoned quarter-pound beef patty. It also included ketchup, mayonnaise, onions, pickle slices, lettuce, and a tomato. It was discontinued in 2011, but is still sold in some stores outside the U.S. That is certainly not where I'm from. Can you imagine wanting to compete with Burger King? And this is, okay, let's get into this a little bit, because I could do an entire separate video just talking about underrated fast food places. And again, I'm Canadian. I do have my specific things that are regional that I eat at the most. But being somebody who didn't grow up around a Burger King, who only recently discovered the world of the King, I think that place has some really good burgers. And this is the thing about burgers people need to realize. There's this like huge necessity where people are like, you got to stack it up like 5 patties and all this grease and shit pouring on. You want to just make it bigger, not taller. When you want a big burger, make it bigger, like wider, not taller. It's like, why is that the thing? Your mouth is only so big. If you make it wider, there's still more burger. I'm just saying. I think Burger King's section and their selection size, it's really good for what you're paying for. I think it's one of the better ones. They kind of went up in price right now, but it's cool. I just love the fact that McDonald's was like, we have to compete with Burger King. They are destroying us for some reason. Big and Tasty. Oh, not working. The Arch Deluxe. What is this? The chain introduced the Arch Deluxe. It was the gourmet version of the regular hamburger. It's supposed to be more adult. It was unclear what was more adult about it. Here's the thing. Again, it's one of those like, hey, we're trying to get adults back to McDonald's. What if we made a burger designed specifically for adults? Every fucking burger is for adults. You have a Happy Meal. That's where the kids eat. It's like, I love that like subcategory of just anything in pop culture where it's like a brand, a company, an idea is like, we gotta make this mature. It suddenly became too for kids. We have to make it dark and gritty. We have to make it the Arch Deluxe. That is so dumb. Of course that wouldn't work. I love the effort though. A chopped beef steak sandwich is next, baby. I don't think anybody wants to go to McDonald's for just a regular sandwich. You have to give those people, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, you have to give them a burger. That's what they're here for. I like a beefsteak sandwich sometimes. It's not really like a go-to, but hey, no, it's not bad. Here's a vintage classic, the McHot. That's a great name. It makes sense to me. Like the hot dog thing is kind of right there next to burgers. You know, when you eat a burger, sometimes you're like, I'll just get a hot dog. I get that completely. And this one, it seems easy to make. If your convenience store can sell you a hot dog, I have no doubt in my mind that so could a McDonald's. I wonder why this one wasn't doing well. Like, I still see it here. It's like the hot dog was sold in the Midwest, and it was still available in some Japanese McDonald's restaurants as well. I wonder why it failed. It's just like, people don't know what's. It's in that era where it was like, what's a hot dog made of? Like that Simpsons bit where Lisa's thinking about everything in a hot dog and there's a fucking raccoon. It's like that bit, and everyone's like, ew, we can't eat hot dogs now. And today's society be like, well, it's no worse than the other shit we're pumping into our stomachs. So yeah, I think I'll eat the hot dog. Crazy. The triple double burger. Ooh, there we go. This was a promotional burger for Batman Forever. That's cool. I love, like, I know Batman is supposed to be like dark and gritty sometimes, and like people have their interpretation of that. But just recently, was it Little Caesars? I think Little Caesars had the Batman promotion where you could get like a Batman shaped pizza and it comes with like a calzone. And I'm like, that's just cool. I love that movie, and I love the idea of just a pizza in the shape of the Batman symbol. That is such a fun, creative concept. Just put it into my veins. So I don't know how a three-pattied burger is really connected to the Batman movie, but it was Batman Forever, so we were all just collectively high at that point. Anything could be anything. We allowed it. Here we go. Number 16 is onion nuggets. That sounds terrible. I like a good onion ring. I'll say it now. I will always prefer the fry to the onion ring, but on occasion I've been known to have an onion ring or two. They are very hit or miss. Sometimes it's very like preference based how you prefer your onion rings to be fried. And sometimes there's good versions, sometimes there's ones I don't like. I'm not going to say what that is because it doesn't matter. But I'm not going to eat that, you know? And I guess this one was served with the beefsteak sandwich. Yeah, that's a meal nobody wants. I'm looking, because there's a picture in it here. There is just a jug of steak sauce that comes with it. That looks so unappetizing. I have no doubt I understand why it fell flat. That is fun. Here we go. The Angus burger, baby. Oh, this was such a good burger. I believe this one was primarily Canadian, right? Because this one, I remember them advertising the shit out of this. It was, in 2013, once again, McDonald's tried to make their burgers fancier. They did this by introducing the Angus burger, and it still didn't work for them. It was discontinued in 2013. 2013? That seems so recent to me. That's 9 years ago. I remember this burger like it was yesterday. This was like a favorite of somebody in my household, and whenever they got it, they're like, well, I can't finish it. Do you want the rest of it? I'm like, yeah, I'll have a piece of that burger, and I just liked it. Interesting, because I remember they made a huge deal in Canada. It was like, it's Canadian beef. You have to do this to support Canada. And I'm like, whoa, where's the rest of the beef coming from then, is what I was asking. Didn't ever find out. Cool. The Angus burger. I wonder if there's one in particular that I'll talk about if it's not on the list, but that's kind of exciting. So then we have the McPizza, which is just such a stupid idea. Pizza places should be separate. You can have like your Donair pizza place, you could have your pasta and pizza place, but if you are primarily known for your burgers, you don't do pizza. That should just be a staple. It took 11 minutes to prepare. Yeah, well, you have fast food. That's not really what's going to happen when you have a pizza being made. Pizzas are delicate things. I'll say it now. After just saying I really liked the Little Caesars Batman pizza, I'm not the biggest pizza fan in the world. I'm not. If I am given the choice of anything else aside from pizza, I will take almost anything else. I'm just not a pizza guy. I can't imagine waiting 11. I can't imagine driving to a McDonald's and being like, yes, the pizza, please. I need it now. That is insane. That is insane. Then we have the hot mustard sauce. Is that not a thing they do anymore? That's interesting. Due to our lineup, due to a slow-moving performance. Nobody wants it. Is this... I wonder if... I kind of grazed through the list, so I didn't see everything on it. But I wonder if there's going to be a certain promotional thing that happened through Rick and Morty that's going to appear on the list. That sounds like... That's just hot mustard. Okay. Makes sense. Nobody wanted it. Number 20, the cheddar melt. Oh, I don't like the way that sounds. Another burger variation that didn't ever work well enough for the cheddar melt. It was brought in 1988 and was made of a thick burger topped with cheddar cheese and grilled onions on a rye bun. That sounds good, actually. There's some things on the system where oh yeah, I'll eat the Batman Forever 3-pattied burger. This sounds good. I like melted cheese on stuff, so I could go for it. A rye bun is an interesting choice, though, just because it feels like we're fancy. We're the the Arch Deluxe? We're trying to do that again. Dumb. Here we go, folks. Oh, it's back. The Mulan Szechuan sauce. I don't know what else I need to say about this other than it almost destroyed the world for a minute. Do you remember? I've talked a lot about Rick and Morty and other places, and it literally just came back this week, actually, so watch season 6. It is fascinating to me the chokehold that episode had on society for a bit, where McDonald's is like, oh my God, we have to bring this back for a minute. And then people got, it's like, oh, it's just a sauce. It's like Szechuan sauce. It's not game-changing. And the other thing is, they just had it. They just had the sauce, so it doesn't matter. What a weird thing. What a weird thing. I never understood, I kind of like those promotional things that kind of go away, because that's very, collectible pop culture-y, too, where it's this was only available from, 1984 to 19 blank blank, and you're just that's really cool, and it's, in this packaging, and that's, how it's displayed, and there's something so vintage about that. But, of course, the Szechuan sauce was 98, and there you go. People liked it. It changed the world. People were jumping on countertops. Give me my sauce. Oh, what a world we live in where that happened, isn't it? That sucks. Then we have the Spanish omelet bagel. Again, I know McDonald's does have some bagel sandwiches at times, and I've had a few in the mornings when I'm working an early shift. Is that interesting, and did people like them? I've never met anybody else who ate one, if that makes sense. Huh. Maybe it's because, I am Canadian, if you couldn't tell already. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that in this episode. But I am Canadian, and we have this little independent business that's like a fast food coffee shop called Tim Hortons. And if you want breakfast food, like a bagel per se, you probably go to Tim Hortons. So it makes sense that McDonald's would want to cap in on that. Interesting. This just looks like shit. It's just an omelet on a bagel. Not even a good-looking omelet. It's so hard to get, fast food eggs right. That looks gross. Then we have McStuffins. No, not Doc McStuffins, everybody. This is basically a McDonald's version of a Hot Pocket in 1993, which sounds like a dream fast food item. It was French bread stuffed with a variety of toppings like pepperoni pizza and teriyaki chicken. Ew. I love this. It's just a Hot Pocket, They were cutting into our market. We had to make a Hot Pocket. We called it McStuffins. People thought it was pornographic. We didn't know what to do with it. We sold it. Nobody wanted it. It just existed. There you go. Gross. Hot Pockets are gross. Sometimes food like that can work. I'm not the biggest fan. But here's something I could wrap my head around. The mixed spaghetti. Yes. I love That's the one you go to. The spaghetti. What's the untapped market? What is McDonald's missing, folks? Everybody just think about it for a minute. What is McDonald's missing? Pasta. Spaghetti. They should make spaghetti. In the 80s, they tried. And the dip flopped spectacularly in the US, but is still available in some countries like the Philippines. I can believe that completely. And here we go. Here's a fun one. I love this one. I love that this exists. The Hula Burger. It's just a slice of pineapple. Why? It's just... Oh my goodness. Listen to this. The Hula Burger was introduced in the 1960s as a meatless burger for Catholics on Fridays during Lent. When you aren't supposed to eat meat. That is crazy and sounds terrible. So who here wants bun, cheese, pineapple slice, cheese bun? We can all split it. I would if this is another thing where I'm like, I would love to go in a time machine, go to a restaurant serving the Hula Burger, and just try what a McDonald's burger tastes like in the 60s. I'm sure it would kill me. But I can't imagine wanting to try that. This is something we could all make at home, and maybe this is I'll do a special where I'm like, I made the Hula Burger, I hate myself, I'm going to eat it. Strawberry shortcake McFlurry, bitches. Anybody eat McFlurry still? Who knows? Strawberry shortcake. Great. The McSoup. What the fuck is the McSoup? Again, was an untapped market McDonald's never touched? Soup. You go to there for your soup? Gross. I cannot imagine anybody wanting that. Again, soup is very hit or miss. It's kind of like the food it's fast food. Soup is not something you eat fast. It's either going to be really cold, which it probably would be when you're moving it like that. It's so dumb. So dumb. 28, we're nearing the end, and so far I haven't seen the one that I want to talk about on this list. Sweet chili sauce. Ooh, that's a great sauce. I love the taste of it. Very yummy, very flattering, very enjoyable. The Son of Mac. Is this like the Son of Baconator? The smaller take on McDonald's classic was introduced around 2007. It had the same ingredients as a Big Mac. The only difference, it had one patty instead of two. Even though you can't order it by name, you could ask for they typo in this article, throw a burger with mac sauce and have a similar outcome. What the fuck? This it seems like this should still be around because it's just a smaller Mac. I love when they name like food after people, like the Son of Mac. That's a great name. All right. The McFeast. You think that with a name like the McFeast, this would be a pretty impressive meal. Turns out it's just your standard McDonald's burger with lettuce, tomato, pickles, mustard, ketchup, and a special McFeast deluxe sauce. Cool. So they're like, hey, the McFeast, it's a special burger. What's special about it? We put sauce on it that's different. What? That's it? Yes. And now I'm seeing the one I wanted to talk about is on this list. So the last one in this article that we're going to be talking about is the hot and spicy McChicken. Does that get discontinued? I mean, it's... You think you'd want to keep that to compete with the spicy stuff from Wendy's and stuff. Really? The spicy one's discontinued? That surprises me. Is it because we don't want to spice up our burger? That's weird. That's weird. So I was kind of teasing one throughout this entire article where I was like, I wonder if it's going to be on here. That, of course, is the McMini. It is half a sandwich. It had the sweet chili sauce, and you could get the ranch teriyaki one. I love that sandwich. It was the perfect snack size. It had so much going for it. Very yummy, very cool. But I miss it. It's one of those nostalgic things from my childhood where I'm like, why the fuck don't we have that now? So, interesting food, hey? There's some in here I would genuinely want to eat. I'd get the Angus burger again. I would try the cheddar melt probably. I'm crazy. Fuck it. I'll try the mixed spaghetti. It'd probably be cold and disgusting, but I would at least want to try it. And then there's things where I'm like, I would never touch that with my life. The Mighty Wings. Who would want that? The Fish McBites? No, thank you. Don't want the fajita. Don't want anything to do with the beefsteak sandwich and onion nuggets. That sounds like hell, and I don't want that in my life. And if I had all the time in the world, I would probably try to test out the McPizza. But unfortunately, I'm a busy man, and the last thing I want to do is try a McFucking pizza. I like McDonald's a lot. I will be a defender of the company because I'm a lunatic consumer who's defending a mega conglomerate, but I think they have good food for like a cheap-ass price, and you could just slovenly eat your shit and get on with your day. I respect them for that. I like seeing that not everything works. That's one of my favorite things about stuff like this. You try something like the McStuffins, and you realize maybe we are fallible. Maybe we can break. I do think there is something disgusting about the Hula Burger, but also something intriguing about it. You know, that's interesting. And if you guys like this video, please let me know. Maybe we'll come back and talk about, you know, we'll do the mascots eventually. I'm promising you now, eventually somewhere down the line, we'll do the mascots. And at some point, I'm also thinking maybe we'll come back and talk about other ones. I'd have to see like what's like a national fast food place, because I don't know which ones I go to are regional to Canada, and I'd like to expand more and talk about other ones. But cool. So if you guys have the chance, look at the article yourself. Tell me what you'd like to eat, what you'd want to try, what you would never touch if your life depended on it. And let's just all agree that the Batman has the best promotional foods out of any merchandising giant thing ever. I think that's what we have to say. And again, next week we'll be doing a lot of news. So there you go. This is a shorter episode, just a chill 30 minutes to take you into your new week. Thanks for the support, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I am seriously loving it, and I changed the way that sounded up so there's no copyright issues, McDonald's. I will be sponsored by you. If you want someone to talk about stuff, I'll do it. Let's all go find a McMini somewhere. Later, guys. Have fun, stay safe, good luck. Did I say that? I don't know. Bye.